Welcome to tonight's live stream. Tonight we're going to talk about how you can use the Military Spouse Program, the MyCAA program, to get a cybersecurity career or a project management career. This Military Spouse Program, or MyCAA, is a program available to military spouses. If you're a spouse of a service member, doesn't matter which branch, you're eligible for up to $4,000 in education credits that are freely available to you. Most spouses have no idea that this program exists. It's existed for decades now, and a lot of people just have no idea that this program is out there. You can use this program to pursue education, pursue professional certifications, and I'm going to show you how you can get into cybersecurity or project management using these benefits and how you'd want to navigate your career if you want to do transition into cybersecurity or project management. So we're going to talk about that tonight. If you do have any questions, please leave a chat. I'll be answering questions throughout the presentation. Happy to answer questions. I really do encourage you, and I do appreciate everybody watching. If you're a military spouse, thank you very much for your service. It's very difficult being a military spouse. And if you are a service member, thank you for your service as well if you're watching on behalf of your spouse. But this is primarily geared towards military spouses to help educate you on these benefits. So we're going to talk to you how you can get into cybersecurity. And I'm going to share my journey into cybersecurity. I was a service member, but I did the same certification route to get into cybersecurity, so I know it's possible, and that's why part of the reason I founded Cyberkraft is to help other service members, spouses, and veterans to enter the cybersecurity workforce. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome you to it. If you're looking to transition, if you have no education background in cybersecurity, if you have no cybersecurity or IT experience, that's perfectly fine. This is the perfect webinar for you. Or even if you are experienced, say you have some IT experience, you have some technical experience, we're going to show you how you can level up your career. But if you don't have any experience, you're thinking to yourself, I'm not technical enough, I don't have any knowledge, any experience, I'm not necessarily savvy with computers, that's okay. You can start without any experience whatsoever. Also, if you're thinking, okay, well, I don't want to accrue any debt, does this come with any debt? It doesn't. This is completely paid for by the DoD or DOW, and it's fully available to any military spouse. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can walk through the steps and how you can apply, whether you choose to take training with Cyberkraft or with another institution. I hope you get something out of the webinar. So what you're going to learn is, what is cybersecurity? What is the cybersecurity career field? What does that mean to work in cybersecurity? I'm going to show you the different job routes, the job fields in cybersecurity, because cybersecurity is a very broad term. It's like IT. IT is a very broad term. There's lots of different aspects to that. And I'm going to show you how you can fund your training with the MyCAA program. I'm also going to show you a realistic job path that you can expect to transition into the field, into the cybersecurity field, or project management. I'm going to talk about project management also. So if you're looking at a CAPM or a PMP, we're going to discuss that as well. Now, a lot of military spouses have one of the toughest jobs, I think. Oftentimes, the military spouse is a tougher job than the service member, because the military spouse has to constantly move. You never know when you're going to be going somewhere or traveling to a different base or being forced to PCS. So what is nice about cybersecurity is there's a lot of remote jobs, and you can find a position in cybersecurity where you can work remotely. When I worked in cybersecurity, I worked for 10 years remotely, and there are a ton of jobs that work remotely. A lot of companies recognize, especially after COVID, that it's easier and more cost efficient to have remote positions than to force people to come into the office and to work in an office building. If all the systems and all the computers are in the cloud, why have somebody come to a physical location and then log into the cloud? That's the thinking of a lot of companies, and it makes a lot of sense. So it's perfect for someone who's forced to PCS constantly or move, or someone who doesn't know where they're going to be from year to year. Also, some bases, as you know, if you're an Army spouse, or a Marine spouse, that some of these stations, these duty stations, are out in the boonies. If you're an Air Force spouse, you're a little spoiled. But if you're a spouse for some of the other branches, Navy and Air Force, they have it a little better. But for Army and Marines, I sympathize with you. Sometimes those bases can be, let's say, geographically remote. So it's a really good career field to get into if you want to have a job where you can actually work for a company and you don't have to pick and choose from the local companies around there. So, if you're at Fort Benning, you're not trying to find a local cybersecurity job at Columbus, Georgia. You're trying to find a job across the country with a remote role. And it really helps to have that consistent work no matter where you move. If you're remotely dialing in, you can see the benefits. I like working with military spouses because oftentimes they're smarter than the service members. And they're no nonsense. They have to deal with the service branch, and they know how to navigate. So they're perfect. Military spouses, I appreciate you. You're perfect candidates to get into one of these career fields, cybersecurity or project management, just because of the savviness you have to deal with the military branches in general. Now, so we talked about the portability, remote friendliness of the positions. These jobs are in demand. Let me show you. Let's pull up Indeed. I always like to pull up Indeed and just do a search. So let's do that. I'm just going to search for cybersecurity, and this is just going to pull up jobs in the United States. So last time we did this, it was like 23,000 jobs right now available in cybersecurity. And we see all these different, the salaries are very good. Now that's a senior level job. This is a management job, but with say 5 years of experience, you can get this type of salary. 5 to 10 years of experience, 10 or more years of experience, you can get this type of salary. You're not going to start there. I would say a realistic starting salary is going to be between 60 and 90K, but your earnings potential grows very quickly in the cybersecurity career field. We can see some of the jobs here. All of these are cybersecurity jobs. This one's at Fort Huachuca. So, if you have a Intel spouse in the Army, we have Tampa. So if you have somebody in the Air Force, MacDill Air Force Base, I believe, is in Tampa. So we have lots of different, positions here in cybersecurity. And we could look for, let's say, junior roles. And let's just take a look at those jobs. 400 jobs. Junior is one of the, here's 52,000. That's pretty, 45 to 55. Well, that's a sysadmin role. IT specialist, 50 to 60,000. So you're going to work up. Server administrator. These are more IT roles. But analyst would be a good role as well. And I think this is going to give us a good understanding. Here, cyber analyst. This is a typical entry or lower level job position. Augusta, Georgia, $90,000 to $120,000 per year. And this is asking for a Security Plus or a CISSP. Now, the Security Plus, you're going to see a lot of times in these job roles. I'm going to talk why. It's required for many jobs, and it's honestly the best way to start in cybersecurity. It's a great way to gain a foundational understanding of the cybersecurity career field. So we're going to discuss that as well, the different certifications. But as you can see, there's tons of jobs in cybersecurity. And if we look at project management, if you're looking at project management roles, we can see that there's 98,000 jobs right now. Project management roles pay very well. Project managers, I'd say a mean salary is around 100,000 for project manager. You can expect to earn, I'd say, between 55 and 85,000 as an entry-level project manager. And you can do so by earning your CAPM and your PMP. And I'm going to talk about those certifications as well tonight. So the CAPM leads to project management roles, and these pay very well. And you can see, here's one. If we take a look, this will most likely, this is asking for a high school diploma or a GED. Pays $55,000 to $70,000. And if we search here, I'm sure we're going to find here, CAPM or PMP certification or willingness to acquire. So this one's not even asking you to have certification. So if you have your CAPM and PMP, you can get both of those through MyCAA, and you apply for this position, you have your high school diploma or GED, you can be earning $55,000 to $70,000 a year. So that's fantastic. And project management roles, there's plenty of them, and a lot of them are remote as well. You can even work project management in cybersecurity. So as we can see, there's lots of different jobs in these career fields, and I'm going to show you how you can get into those roles. But let's talk a little bit about cybersecurity. So what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is basically protecting information systems. I'd say it's protecting data. That's the best way. So any type of data, whether that's personal information, if it's videos, you have a video streaming service, or audio files, maybe records, financial records, any type of data, or systems, like protecting the computers themselves. When I say a system is just a group of devices. So a group of computers is a system. So you're defending, you're protecting systems against hackers. Hackers drive the need for cybersecurity. And hacking, a lot of hackers come from foreign countries. They're funded by those countries. Oftentimes, you'll find state groups like Russia, China, North Korea. There's a lot of countries that will fund hacking groups to target critical infrastructure. There's a lot of hackers that are out there. They're gangs, basically. They're criminal organizations that are motivated by financial gain. They try and do ransomware attacks, and they will target anybody. They do not care. They have no morals. They're the scum of the earth, and they want to steal data or encrypt data to make it unusable. And that's called a ransomware attack. They'll encrypt data, and then they'll require a ransom. So they're holding the data hostage. So these criminals are out there. These ransomware attacks, these cybersecurity attacks, are incredibly costly for organizations. So it makes sense for organizations to invest in cybersecurity. It's far more cost effective than to deal with these cyber attacks. And you can mitigate your risk by investing in cybersecurity controls. I'll take a moment to answer questions. My spouse is active duty and may be stationed overseas in the future. I wish your spouse the best of luck. If I earn a cybersecurity certification, would I be able to work remotely for a U.S. company while living in another country? Now, that's a great question. You can, depending on the company. A lot of companies do allow that, particularly for service members or spouses, so that it is possible. Yes, you'd have to check with your company and have the okay to do that, but that is possible. Yes. I do know multiple spouses and service members who have worked overseas or have worked after duty. Maybe they were stationed in Germany. They had a job. The spouse had a job in the States, and they were, stationed in Germany, and then they continue working for that U.S.-based company. You can also, if you station in Europe, there's a lot of roles in cybersecurity and project management in European countries as well that can value if you speak English. But a good question. That's a good question. Okay, let's continue here. Here's some myths I want to talk about. First, do you need a computer science degree to get into cybersecurity? No, you don't. You don't need a cybersecurity degree. Personally, I don't have a cybersecurity degree. I worked for over a decade for the federal government in cybersecurity. When I went to school, there's no such thing as a cybersecurity degree. So I transitioned into the career field by getting cybersecurity certifications, and you can too. I started by getting my CompTIA Security Plus. You have to be great at math. Math is pretty rarely used in cybersecurity. It's not that commonly used. There's different job roles. Some you might have to use a little bit of math, but that's not really a thing that you need. Hacking is only a small subset of the cybersecurity career field. I'd say it comprises about 10% of all jobs. That would be a penetration tester. You don't need to know hacking. It's not like in the TV shows where you have somebody, okay, this is the cybersecurity professional, and they're typing away at a computer, and it just shows like, Adobe or HTML code on the screen, and they're parsing the data to hack into the person and the video screen, and they're enhancing and all that. It's not like that. Too technical for beginners? No, it really isn't. It really just means you need to be organized. You need to be able to follow a set of tasks and to adhere to different rules. And if you're a military spouse, you are used to rules. If you can navigate DOD or DOW regulations and policies, if you've gone through a PCS and you've had to do moving, or if you've had to get access to a base, you'll understand. And cybersecurity is going to be far less frustrating than that. I'll guarantee you that. Many professionals, again, start with no tech background. Certifications is a great career field because certifications count more than degrees. You don't necessarily need the degree, you need the certification. And most jobs will ask for the certifications. And there are job roles that are very low tech. There are some jobs that are high tech. There are jobs in cybersecurity that are really good if you're very personable and you can talk to other people. There are some that are a little more technical, but a lot of times I had the roles of a risk manager or a risk assessor. So I was assessing, basically I was looking at a system and seeing, okay, is this complying with what we're supposed to be doing? And I would be talking with people to say, okay, we need to do this, this, and this to get this system in check or up to compliance. Now, I want to talk about the CompTIA Security Plus. This is the best foundational level certification. And this is what I started when I got into cybersecurity. It's perfect for beginners. And you could start at that 60 to 90K. I would recommend getting Security Plus if you want to get into cybersecurity. Security Plus and then something like Network Plus or CISA Plus. Couple that with, you want to start with Security Plus but then you can couple it with another certification. So it's a great certification. It doesn't require any experience to obtain, and you can do so with your MyCAA funds. Cyberkraft, we train thousands of people to earn their Security Plus every year. It's a fantastic cert, and it really does teach you a really good, a foundational knowledge of that cyber. Now, here's the different pathways in cyber. I'm going to hide my video for a second. We have project management, and that applies not only to cybersecurity, but for other certification or other job roles as well. There's risk management, cloud security, pen testing, and cybersecurity analyst. Now, a lot of these job roles, these are the different kind of career fields. So you can work in risk management. This is a little less technical. Same with project management. Cloud security is working with cloud-based systems. Pen testing, this is those hackers. You know, if you're working in pen testing, you're doing the offensive side. And then cybersecurity analyst is when that's a traditional cybersecurity role. You're protecting a system. Now, if you do want to know how to go about earning your MyCAA benefits or using your MyCAA benefits, stick around after the webinar. We're going to be holding a special Zoom session, and I'm going to post the link to that Zoom session. We're going to be holding a special Zoom session after the call or after the webinar, and you're welcome to join in there and answer your questions, and we're going to walk you through the process if you want to use your benefits. And that's for any certification or any type of training. Even if you have questions, you just want to have questions about the MyCAA program, we're going to talk about that there. So cybersecurity analyst, from the Security Plus, I would recommend going to the CISA Plus, the Cybersecurity Analyst certification. With those two certifications, you're going to be you can make within 5 years over $100,000. And cybersecurity analysts on average make $112,000 per year. Every year you work in cybersecurity, you increase your earnings potential. As we saw, the salaries on Indeed, there's a lot of different roles available. And we can see that, you know, some of these jobs are paying upwards of $200,000, like cybersecurity senior architect, $230,000 a year. Most of these will require that Security Plus. Now, there's other certifications you can obtain as well. The Certified Ethical Hacker is going to get you on that red team route. And if you want to join in later, I'll be talking about these different certifications in that Zoom call. The Cloud Plus is if you want to get into cloud security. CISA is great if you want to do risk assessment or IT audit. And there's also different career pathways you can choose. So if you're a beginner, an absolute beginner with computers, I'd recommend doing your A+ first. The CompTIA A+ gives you a good understanding of IT, and with just the A+, you can earn IT certifications as well. But I do want to talk about the CAPM if you want to get into project management. So project management, what is project management? That is basically being a manager of a group of people and ensuring that a project is set within a certain budget. Okay, so you're a manager, you're managing a project, and that's why it's called project management. So you're ensuring that everybody gets their jobs correct, they're doing tasks on time, you're scheduling people and resources out. Now the CAPM, the Certified Associate in Project Management, is the best entry-level project management certification, and that leads into the project management professional. Now if we take a look at CAPM, first off, we look at project management. In Indeed, we can find lots of jobs, 99,000 jobs available in project management. And if we look at some of these jobs, this one's urgently hiring, this one's urgently hiring. We take a look at those job profiles. We see this is paying $85,000 to $115,000 per year. We can look at the requirements here, and we can see that a lot of times these aren't asking for like a driver's license and technical writing skills. So it's really not asking for too much here, okay? Now, if we look, how many of these project management jobs are asking for CAPM or PMP? PMP stands for Project Management Professional. So if we search for PMP, 16,000 jobs are asking for that PMP. That's the senior level certification in project management. And if we look at CAPM, we can find that 700 jobs are asking for CAPM. But I feel like that's a little low. But we can see there's lots of different project management jobs available, and the PMP is really that gold standard. If you have no experience in project management, you start with your CAPM and then go to PMP. CAPM gives you the foundational understanding, and then you get the PMP, and that's where you qualify for the senior jobs. We showed that job earlier that was asking for the PMP or the CAPM. So let's just take a look at a few of these jobs. I haven't looked at these jobs ahead of time. I'm just pulling this up in real time. And we can see it's paying at $90,000 to $110,000. And this is looking for that PMP and the Agile certification. Now, you'll learn Agile with the PMP. You can also get that later, but the PMP is the most important. And this one here, $50,000 to $85,000 requires a PMP certification. So when you talk with us, when you talk with Cyberkraft, we're going to talk to you about all the different certifications and explain these. So if you have questions about the program or about where to get started, we're going to help you do that. Our academic counselors are very experienced training soldiers and spouses, or service members and spouses and veterans, and we're here to help you. Even if you don't go with us, that's perfectly fine. So we do have different career tracks. We have different programs that we offer at Cyberkraft as well. But I do want to get into the training for MyCAA. So what is MyCAA? Okay. This is basically a Department of War, Department of Defense education benefit that's designated for military spouses. And you have to, the eligibility means you have to be a military spouse of a current active duty service member. You can also be a spouse of a reserve or National Guard if they're on orders. And we can walk you through the different requirements, or if you're a military spouse, basically you qualify for the program. So if you have questions, talk with one of our academic counselors. We'll explain the whole process, but basically it's that simple. If you're a military spouse, you are eligible. You get $4,000 for career training. You get $2,000 per fiscal year. So you can use $2,000 one year and $2,000 next. And this is designed for high demand careers. Now, all the certifications we offer at Cyberkraft for project management and cybersecurity are in-demand certifications. All of those are qualified on MyCAA. And since you only get $2,000 per year, what we do is we discount our courses so you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. Normally we charge like $2,600 for PMP. We discount that down to $2,000 to ensure our military spouses won't have to pay anything out of pocket. Let me answer a question here. How long does it usually take to get certified in CAPM? Great question. So with CAPM, it normally takes 1 week of training. Most training vendors will only train you for 3 days. We train you for 5 full days. We expand that out. We give you 40 hours. A lot of places only give you 3 days. But we give you 5 full days of instruction, either 5 8-hour days or 2 weeks of evening classes with 4 hours each night. So we have daytime, we have weekend classes available for PMP and CAPM, and for any of our certifications. We also have weekend classes available as well. So cybersecurity training, project management training, they're great fits for MyCAA. And basically how this works, you log into your MyCAA account. If you're a military spouse, you can get MyCAA account. We'll walk you through that process. You confirm your eligibility in that account. Then you select your training provider. You select, if you want to go Cyberkraft, you select Cyberkraft. You submit an education plan. Basically, we're going to walk you through how to make a plan. Basically, you state, I want to get this certification in this time frame. That's my plan. Then you get approval from the MyCAA office. It does not take very long. And you start the training. With the training, with us, you get an exam voucher to take your test. And we offer first-time pass guarantee, so we give you a free retake if you don't pass. Now, that's optional. We don't have to do that for MyCAA. We're actually not obligated to give you the voucher. We do that as an added bonus. Now, it's a very simple process. It takes about half an hour, and we walk you through every step. So our academic counselors are there ready to help you do this. Now, if you are interested in pursuing your benefits with MyCAA, please join in the Zoom webinar after the end. I posted the link. I'm going to post it once more. So here's the Zoom link. I'm posting in the chat. I'll be opening that Zoom now. So if you do have any questions, please join us in the Zoom, and our academic counselors will be happy to help you answer all your questions and help you, learn about the MyCAA program and even get you applied if you are interested in doing that. If not, I really appreciate everybody taking the time to join in the webinar. It's been fantastic having you. I appreciate all the questions we've had, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Hope this is helpful for you. Hope you got something out of it. If you do have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment, leave a chat on the YouTube channel. But thank you so much. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening.